Hey, what's up guys, this is Kobe Card Games and welcome to another deck profile. This is going to be a revisit to a old deck profile because this is going to be a slight update to the Blackwing deck profile. Before we do get into this, I do want to apologise for the extreme lack of uploads from both me and leelandioh. Leland's not exactly had the most amount of decks to be profiling, and neither have I, because obviously we don't really get that much of a paid income. So we don't really get that much to buy new decks and stuff. But yeah, this is a revisit to the Blackwings. A few things have been changed in the deck. Oh, bloody hell. There's some new tech choices, main deck and extra deck wise, just to try and make the deck a little bit more versatile. And from testing, it's been working a lot. But the bricks, if you do brick, it's not a slide brick. It's just like, it just becomes a total brick. But yeah, the deck is really good, and I do recommend playing it. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So we'll start with the main deck, obviously. So first of all, we play 3 copies of Blackwing Simoon the Poison Wind. Simoon is an amazing tech choice. It can, if you control no monsters and you have that in your hand, you can banish a Blackwing in the hand to place Black Whirlwind from deck face up in the spell and trap zone, and then you can either send this to the grave or force the normal summon with the effect. And if you normal summon using the effect, you still get your actual normal summon that turn. The Black Whirlwind that is placed by this effect, if it's still on the field, will be sent to the grave during the end phase, and you'll take 1,000 damage for it. But it's just so worth it to get a free body on the field to normal summon without using your normal summon. And I just see that this card is a card that you really can't play without in Blackwing. Some people say, oh, swap it out for Imperm or something like that. No, this card is what keeps this deck going, in my opinion. This card is what allows this deck to get into the greater combos, allow it to get into like certain cards like your Auster, so you can get into your Full Armor Master, because obviously 6 and 4 is 10, big math burr. Anyway, so yeah, we definitely gotta play Simoon. One of the best cards in the main deck, if not the best. Then we play 3 copies of Auster the Southwind. I will recommend bumping this down to 2, because Auster, you don't really want to see it in your hand when you draw, because you kind of want to search this off Simoon, because what is it? It's better to search this off Simoon and then just go with it. If you have it in your hand already, then sure, but like if you don't have any other Blackwings and you have to banish this, then you ain't going to get a special from the other Auster, because obviously Auster can't be special summoned. So it's like, you really kind of want to search this. You don't want to risk having this in your first hand. But yeah, it's a good card, because if it's normal summoned, you can target a banished level 4 lower Blackwing and special summon in defense. It has another effect where you can banish it to put black feather counters on Blackwind Dragon, or place a wedge counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls. It doesn't come up that much, but it is helpful in certain situations. So yeah, very good card. Oh, bloody hell. Right. I always do this. I always do it incorrectly. Anyway, then we play 3 copies of Borrow the Spear, probably one of the other best Blackwings in the deck, seeing as if a Blackwing on the field other than itself is present, face up. You can special summon this from your hand. Non-once per turn special summon. It does piercing damage, which doesn't come up often. If it's a grind game, maybe. But yeah, this is an easy level 4 body. Allows you to get into some rank 4 exceeds. Make some great plays. And definitely got to play this card. You can't play without it. Then we play 3 copies of Chris the Crack of Dawn. Chris is essentially the same as Borrow the Spear, except it has a limitation where it's a once per turn special summon. Kind of helpful as well is the fact is, once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by spell or trap effects. So if someone was to try and interrupt its summon with a spell or trap, it wouldn't leave the field, which is good. We play 1 Zephyros the Elite. I do see other builds playing 2 Zephyros. I guess it could work, but I just prefer 1. So yeah, if this card is in your grave, you can return a face-up card that you control to the hand, special summon this from your grave, and then you take 400 damage. It's a once per duel effect, which is kind of why I'm torn between 2 and 1, which is why I'll only play 1 Zephyros, seeing as the effect is so niche and limited. 3 copies of Gale the Whirlwind. Gale the Whirlwind is a level 3 tuner that does not have a once per turn special summon restriction, which is really good. So you can just keep spamming Gales on the field as long as you have a Blackwing that's not known as Gale on the field. Which is good, because obviously you could do so much with this. You could implement some pretty decent tech choices in the extra deck other than the ones I play. This is just the deck I play and that I'm comfortable with, and it's given me a lot of success. So yeah, Gale's very good. It can half the attack and defense of a monster on the field permanently as well, non-once per turn, which is pretty good. 2 copies of Orochi the Squall. Orochi the Squall has the same Blackwing effect, where if you control a Blackwing other than itself, you can special summon it. It is a once per turn special summon. It's a level 1 tuner, and if it is sent to the grave as synchro material, then you can target a monster on the field and change its battle position, which can come up sometimes and is pretty good to have. 2 Hamat the Dust. Hamat the Dust has the generic Blackwing effect. It's a level 2 non-tuner monster. It can only be special summoned once per turn because it has the restriction. And if it's normal, if it's normal or special summon, then you can target one of a Blackwing monster on the field, and you can increase this card's level by that Blackwing's level. So, for example, say if we had Auster on the field and we special summon a Hamatan, Hamatan can modulate its level to 6 because it can add Auster's 4 onto its 2. So you could go 4 and 6 into full armor master, which is probably a pretty good play if you don't have Simoon in your starting hand. Yes, pretty good. Anyway, 2 copies of Gust the Backblast. Gust the Backblast is a pretty good card because if you control no cards whatsoever, then you can special summon that card. And it has a secondary effect which don't come up, which is if this face-up card on the field, while this face-up card is on the field, your opponent's monster, when your opponent's monster attacks a Blackwing, the attacking monster will lose 300 attack during the damage step. Don't come up at all, really. But when this is on the field, it can actually allow you to go through your turn without using a normal summon, depending on the monsters you have. Because if you have enough extenders to special summon, then you can just keep going off with the players. And you kind of won't need to normal summon. It's kind of bad, like, not having to normal summon with this deck, especially when you play Black Whirlwind. But if you're in the position where you really don't have any need to normal summon, then you can just use that and go in with some other players. 3 Raid Rat to Strangle Lanius. It's another level 4 extender. I'm kind of gonna swap this out eventually. It's not as good as you think. But if you control a dark monster, you can special summon this from your hand, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. It has an effect if you control a Xyz monster with Dark Xyz monster as material, you can target level 4 lower Blackwing monster in the grave and special summon it, but its effect's negated. Each effect is once per turn, so the summon is an activational effect, which can be negated. I don't know who would negate this summon though. I mean, like, come on. But yeah, it's good. Level 4 extender helps to get into the Exceeds. 1 Raid Rat to Sigging Lanius. If you control a face-up Xyz, you can special summon it from your hand. It's a once per turn special summon, non-activational effect. It's really good, obviously, for level 4 Exceeds, and maybe some other generic link plays if needs be. 1 Blizzard the Far North. Blizzard the Far North cannot be special summoned. It is a level 2 tuner monster, and when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon a level 4 lower Blackwing monster from your graveyard in face-up defense, which is good because this doesn't target in the grave. So, yeah. 1 DD Crow. I really don't like playing hand traps. As much as the meta has evolved into a stage where you have to play hand traps to survive, I really don't like playing hand traps, so I'm kind of trying to divert away from them. But I figured why not keep DD Crow? It's a Darkwing beast, it makes sense with the Black Wings, and it can get something out of the graveyard and disrupt card effects. 1 Silent Boots. Obviously this is to search for the Phantom Knight package, which is the Fogblade and the Brigandine. But now we also play 1 Ancient Cloak, which is an extra extender for the Phantom Knight package, because if you don't open one of these 2 in Brick, then you can send this off the send Ancient Cloak off the Bardiche, set the Fogblade, search the Silent Boots, special the Silent Boots, maybe special a Gale, and then Synchro 6, get an extra normal summon for an extra extender, then use the effect to get the Brigandine on the field. So yeah, it's a pretty good play. We're going to go on to the spells now. Obviously, we play 3 Black Whirlwind. Black Whirlwind is the best spell of the deck. When a Blackwing is normal summoned, it lets you search your deck for a Blackwing that has less attack than the monster that was normal summoned. So yeah, amazing continuous spell card. Definitely play 3 of. Obviously, it can be placed off a Simoon, and it can be placed off of yourself as well. And it's not a once per turn card, so if you have multiple on the field when you normal summon, you can search multiple cards. 1 Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Force. This is to rank up into Requiem, which we do play with this deck. We don't play Arc Rebellion. It seems a little bit niche to me, but we play the Requiem. For the negates, obviously, this card, during the main phase, you can banish one or more dark monsters and the target Dark Exceed, and special from the extra deck, the Phantom Knights, Raid Raptor, Xyz Dragon, Xyz monster with ranks equal to the targeting monster and the number of monsters that you banished. But you are locked into Xyz monsters after that. But it's usually the final play, so it doesn't matter. One Foolish Burial, because it's limited. Another way of sending Zephyros and saving having to summon it to the field or anything. So yeah, it's just an easier way of getting into some other plays. One Monster Reborn, this is self-explanatory. It's Monster Reborn, who doesn't really play this card. Obviously it's limited to one. One Dark Eruption. This card comes up a lot more than what you'd think it does, because you could target a dark monster with 1500 or less attack in the grave and then add that to your hand. So you could add a Gale, which is really good, and then obviously summon the Gale and extend. We're coming on to the traps. We only play 3 traps. We play the 1 Brigandine, 1 Fogblade, and the 1 Blackbird Close. So Brigandine is a card that can be special summoned in defense as a normal monster, level 4. It's not treated as a trap, and if you have no traps in your grave, it can be activated the turn it's set. Fogblade, everyone knows what Pogger's Blade does. Activate this card by targeting an effect monster on the field, negate its effects, and the face-up monster cannot attack, but it cannot be targeted for attack. And when it leaves the field, destroy this card, and then obviously you can banish it to target Phantom Knight Engrave and special summon it. Blackbird Close, really good card. Only play one of it though, because we don't want it to come up too much. Counter trap card, when your opponent, or when a monster that your opponent controls activates effect, you can send a face-up Blackwing monster you control to the grave to negate the activation. If you destroy it, then you can special summon a Blackwing Dragon from your extra deck. If you control a Blackwing Synchro or a Blackwing Dragon, you can activate this from your hand, and not once per turn. We only play one because if it comes up too much, it will become a brick. And I see one as a decent ratio for that card, because if it wasn't one, it would just be cut. But anyway, let's go to the extra deck. We'll start with the Synchros. We play 1 Full Armor Master. This is God. This is literally God. It's unaffected by all card effects, and it's insane. And it has an effect where when your opponent's monster would activate an effect, after it resolves, it gets a wedge counter. And yeah, and then once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls with a wedge counter and take control of it. And then once per turn during the end phase, you can destroy all monsters on the field that have a wedge counter. So it can either wipe the board, or it can take control of monsters and use them to your advantage. 1 Armor Master, it's impervious to battle, and neither player takes any damage involving it, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, only you take no damage, so yeah. If it attacks a monster, place a wedge counter on that, and then you can actually remove all wedge counters from opponent's monsters to make their attack and defense 0, which is pretty good. 1 Hawk Joe, this is good for recursion as it can revive other synchros, because it can, once per turn, target a level 5 or higher winged beast monster in the grave and special summon it. And during either player's turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets only this card, or when your opponent targets this card for an attack, then you can pin it on a different Blackwing. So say if this were to be targeted by a card effect, you can use this effect to pin it onto Full Armor Master, because Full Armor Master doesn't say you can't target it, it just says it's unaffected. So you can pin it on Full Armor Master, the effect will target it, but it won't have any effect on it because it is unaffected. So it's a good way to allow the effect to resolve without doing anything. 1 Raikiri, so you can pop cards equal to the amount of Blackwings you control. 1 Shidori, just to get really beefy, and if needs be, when it's destroyed, target a Wing Beast Synchro, and then special it. 1 Nothung for the extra normal summon and a little bit of burn damage. 1 Blackwing Dragon, obviously the target for the Blackbird Close. We play Scarlight to burn for time if needs be, because Scarlight is really good for burning, blowing up the field and just burning. 1 Beals, because it's impervious to battle and card effect. Then we're going to go on to the Exceeds. We have a 4 Strix. This is to search for other Wing Beast monsters to extend even further. A new one of mine is number 24, Dragulus the Vampiric Dragon. This card comes up a lot more than what other people think it would. 2 level 6s, very easy to make. You could use Simoon and a level 6 Hamaton. You could use a Nothung. You can use quite a lot, really. But yeah, once per turn, quick effect, you can detach material from this card, target a face-up monster on the field that was special summoned from the extra deck, and you can change it to face-down defense, which helps a lot. and if this card in face-up card in its owner's possession is sent to the graveyard or banished by an opponent's card effect, then you can special summon this card in face-down defense, and if it's flipped face-up, then you can send one card on the field to the grave. Really good card. Best of both worlds, really. Dark Rebelling Xyz Dragon, obviously keep that to rank up into the Requiem Xyz Dragon, which can get 3 monster negates in one turn, which are not once per turn. To the links, we have the Y-Strix, really good for special summoning a level 4 Darkwing Beast out of the deck to get into the 4 Strix to then set the rank up magic off of Y-Strix effect. And then obviously the Bardiche, which is for the Phantom Knight package. So yeah, this is the Blackwing deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm enjoying this deck a lot, and I can't wait to try and use it at locals when locals open again. Hopefully locals will be opening sometime this month, because I heard apparently locals will open. And that's another point as well. Do you want me and leelandioh to record at locals? We've asked this question before, and we are still expecting an answer. And whatever the answer will be, we will respect it. And we'll probably record anyway. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.